Jungkook's hands slid under Jimin's shirt, seeking skin. The way Jimin was gripping his hair sent a jolt of heat through his body. God, they should stop this. They were enemies. They weren't supposed to be doing this. But the feel of Jimin's body, so close to his, the heat and the friction between them, all that only fueled Jungkook's growing desire. Asterisk, he let out a guttural moan as Jimin's forehead pressed against his, the sound rough and unfiltered. They were both panting, the room charged with a heady mix of tension and lust. Asterisk, Jimin let out a hoarse, ragged gasp as Jungkook's hands slipped beneath his shirt, the feel of those calloused hands against his bare skin, sending a shiver down his spine. His own fingers tightened in Jungkook's hair, his lips seeking the other man's again in a desperate, heated kiss. There was still some rational part of his brain screaming at him to stop, that this was a terrible idea. They were enemies for a reason, but Jimin found himself not caring anymore. Jungkook, asterisk, asterisk, his voice came out low and rough. Asterisk, asterisk, got him it. Asterisk, hearing his name on Jimin's lips, the way he was practically growling it in that low, raspy voice. It was driving Jungkook crazy. His breathing was ragged, his heart hammering in his chest as his hands roamed across Jimin's bare skin, exploring every inch of skin he could reach. Jimin felt like fire against his fingertips, the heat between them almost unbearable. Asterisk, he nipped at Jimin's bottom lip, his voice a rough whisper in response. I know, we shouldn't be doing this, but I don't care. Asterisk, Jimin's entire body stiffened, his breath hitching as the gun pressed into his stomach. The sudden cold metal against his skin sent a jolt of reality through him. What the hell was he doing? This wasn't just reckless anymore. This was suicidal. Yeah, asterisk, asterisk, he snapped, jerking back and shoving Jungkook's wrist away. Asterisk, you really want to do this here? Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. His voice dropped to a venomous whisper. Asterisk. We could have been shot by any of those idiots in that room 5 seconds ago. Jungkook's breath hitched as Jimin called him by his name low, rough, desperate. The sound of it sent a thrill down his spine. He was supposed to be pulling away right now, not getting closer. Asterisk. But the way Jimin's grip tightened in his hair and the heat between them were too much for Jungkook to resist anymore. Asterisk, you don't care either. Asterisk, he breathed against Jimin's lips. Asterisk, asterisk, do you? Asterisk, 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 Jimin's entire body went rigid at the sudden press of cold metal against his stomach. His breath hitched, eyes widening as he registered the weight of a gun between them. Yeah, what the hell are you doing? Asterisk, 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 he snapped, jerking back slightly, but not enough to break away completely. The reality of their situation came crashing down on him. They were in a room full of dangerous men who would kill for less than this. Asterisk, his voice dropped to a sharp whisper. Asterisk, asterisk, put that damn thing away before someone sees. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Jungkook huffed out a breath as Jimin pushed him away, the coldness in his voice grounding him a little. He glanced around the room and saw that no one was paying them any attention, too lost in their own conversations, or more likely, too wasted to notice anything going on around them at all. But it still didn't ease the tension growing in his stomach. Fine. Asterisk, he grumbled, tucking the gun back into his waistband before grabbing Jimin by the arm. Asterisk, asterisk. Then let's get out of here. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Jimin followed Jungkook's gaze around the room, feeling both relieved and paranoid at the fact that nobody was paying them any mind. For a second, the rational part of his mind told him to walk away, to leave before things got dangerous. Asterisk. But the moment Jungkook's fingers wrapped around his wrist and tugged, all common sense went out the window. He stumbled after him on autopilot. Where are we going? Asterisk, he mumbled. Asterisk. Jungkook didn't respond, simply weaving through the crowd and out the door of the club. The moment the cool night air hit them, he let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. Asterisk. He stopped in the relative seclusion of the alley beside the club, letting go of Jimin's wrist and running a hand through his hair. Asterisk, asterisk. Jesus Christ, that was dumb. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. He muttered under his breath. Asterisk, asterisk. What were we even doing? Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Jimin staggered to a halt beside him, the adrenaline suddenly draining from his body. The cold night air felt like a slap in the face, jarring him out of whatever the hell had just happened a moment ago. Asterisk. He leaned back against the brick wall, running his hands through his hair in frustration. Asterisk, asterisk. You're goddamn right, it was dumb. I have no idea what got into me in there. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. He growled, his voice still raw. Asterisk. We're supposed to be enemies, for Christ's sake. Leaned against the wall opposite him, their shoulders almost touching. He let out a humorless laugh at Jimin's words, shaking his head. Yeah, we are enemies. Remember, enemies who hate each other. Asterisk. The irony wasn't lost on him. They were supposed to despise each other. They were supposed to want nothing more than to ruin each other. And yet here they were, alone in a dark alleyway together, like a pair of goddamn idiots. Jimin's jaw clenched as he stared at Jungkook, the weight of their situation pressing down on him. The air between them was thick with something neither of them could name: anger, desire, a mix of both. Enemies who asterisk hate asterisk each other. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. He repeated slowly, his voice dangerously low. Asterisk, asterisk. So tell me why your hands were all over me like that. Asterisk. A beat passed before Jimin scoffed and looked away. Asterisk, asterisk, or don't. I don't give a shit. Jungkook's breath hitched as Jimin repeated the words back to him, his mind swirling with mixed emotions. The image of Jimin against the wall, all flushed and breathless, came rushing back to him, and he had to bite back a curse. You weren't complaining. Asterisk, he countered, not missing the bite in Jimin's voice. Asterisk. You could have stopped me at any time, but you didn't. Asterisk. He pushed off the wall and moved closer, stepping into Jimin's personal space. Asterisk, asterisk. Maybe deep down, you don't hate me as much as you think. Jimin's entire body locked up as Jungkook closed the distance between them, his breath hitching. The words, asterisk, asterisk, deep down, asterisk, asterisk, cut through him like a knife, exposing something raw and dangerous. Asterisk. He grabbed Jungkook by the collar of his shirt again, yanking him forward until their noses nearly brushed. Asterisk. You don't know asterisk shit asterisk. Asterisk, 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 he growled. Asterisk. I could put a bullet in your skull right now and walk away. Asterisk, a pause. His grip tightened slightly before he added, in a rough whisper, asterisk, 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 but I won't. Asterisk heat coiled itself in Jungkook's stomach as Jimin yanked him forward, their faces only millimeters apart now. Any other person would have been intimidated by the dangerous look in Jimin's eyes. But Jungkook merely raised an eyebrow, not backing down an inch. You could, but you won't, because deep down, you don't really want to. Asterisk, he smirked, tilting his head to one side slightly. Asterisk, asterisk, admit it. You might despise me, but you can't resist me. Asterisk, Jimin's grip on Jungkook's shirt tightened until his knuckles turned white. His breath came in short, sharp bursts, anger, lust he didn't even know anymore. You're insane. Asterisk, he muttered, but the way his voice cracked betrayed him. Asterisk, I could walk away right now, and you'd never see me again. Asterisk, a lie. A goddamn lie they both knew wasn't true. Not when Jimin was still holding on to him like a lifeline. Jungkook's smirk only grew wider as Jimin's grip tightened, the fabric of his shirt straining under the force. He could feel Jimin's heartbeat, fast and uneven, where their bodies pressed together. Then walk, asterisk, he challenged, voice dropping to a low murmur. Asterisk, asterisk, go ahead. Turn around and leave. A beat passed before Jungkook added, with deliberate taunting, asterisk, 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 unless you're scared, I'll follow you. Asterisk, Jimin hated the way his heart was racing in his chest, hated the way Jungkook was practically challenging him, hated the heat pooling inside his body when they were so goddamn close together, hated how badly he wanted to shove him against the wall and make him shut the hell up. Asterisk, he wanted to push Jungkook away, to tell him to shove his snarky mouth up his ass, but something in the other man's eyes, that infuriating, cocky look, made Jimin pause. You wouldn't. Asterisk, he said through gritted teeth. Jungkook's eyes darkened at the sound of Jimin's growled words, his smirk never faltering. He saw the conflict in Jimin's eyes, the struggle between his annoyance and whatever other complicated feelings were churning inside him. He relished the tension crackling between them, the way Jimin was on the edge of saying something he didn't want to admit. Asterisk, Jungkook let out a low chuckle, leaning forward to speak in a gravelly murmur, barely inches away from Jimin's ear. Asterisk, try me. Asterisk, the sound of Jungkook's chuckle sent a shiver down Jimin's spine. The words, asterisk, asterisk, try me, asterisk, asterisk, rang in his ears like a challenge. He should shove Jungkook away, create some goddamn distance between them. But instead, Jimin's hands tightened their grip on Jungkook's shirt as if he was physically preventing himself from doing so. Asterisk, his voice came out low and rough, almost a growl. You're getting ko asterisk kai, you boss asterisk ard. Asterisk, Jungkook felt a jolt of desire go through him as Jimin practically growled those words in his ear. The grip on his shirt didn't go unnoticed either. If anything, it only made him want to press closer. He was playing with fire, and they both knew it. What can I say? Asterisk, he murmured in response, leaning even closer until their lips almost touched. Asterisk, I like riling you up. Asterisk, Jimin's entire body tensed, his breath hitching as Jungkook's words sent a sharp jolt of heat straight to his core. The way he was looking at him, like Jimin, was the only thing in the world worth riling up, was dangerous. You're going to be the death of me. Asterisk, 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 he muttered. But there was no real bite behind it anymore. His hands slid from Jungkook's shirt up to grip his jaw instead. Asterisk, a beat passed before Jimin exhaled sharply and closed that last inch between them with another rough kiss. Asterisk, asterisk. A small, strangled noise slipped out from Jungkook's throat as Jimin grabbed him by the jaw and slammed their lips together. The kiss was rough and messy, all teeth and tongue and heated hunger. It was like a dam bursting open, years of tension and animosity finally releasing all at once. Asterisk, he tangled his fingers in Jimin's hair, pulling him closer as he deepened the kiss, pressing him up against the wall. He couldn't get enough. He wanted more. More. Asterisk, asterisk, a low, strained moan escaped Jimin's throat as Jungkook pushed him back, his back hitting the cold brick wall with a thump. The kiss was intoxicating, every touch only fueling the heat pooling in his body. Jimin's hands tightened in Jungkook's hair, holding on for dear life as he kissed him back frantically. Asterisk, the need to be closer, to feel more, was overwhelming. Jimin tangled their legs together, his hips pushing against Jungkook's involuntarily. Asterisk, Jungkook groaned at the feeling of Jimin's hips grinding against his, the sound low and guttural in his throat. He slid his hands down Jimin's sides, gripping his hips and pulling him closer, pressing their bodies flushed together against the wall. The friction was almost too much, making him press his hips back against Jimin in a desperate bid for more. Asterisk, he broke the kiss briefly, panting for breath as he mumbled against Jimin's swollen, kiss-bruised lips, "You're a goddamn tease."